the DV Media Podcast, and we are going to be doing something a lot different today. Instead of talking about movies,
we normally have sleeves, but it's hot out.
It's very hot out. We're going to be talking about cryptids. We're going to be talking about some of the ones we found, some of our favorite ones, and we'll do movie news at the end of the video, so we'll try to keep this video completely on cryptids and the history of them. So, do you want to go first? You want me to?
You go ahead. I only got to one.
All right, he's got one. I've got three. First one I want to talk about. Okay, I kept all mine Appalachian based since we are from, the Appalachian area. So the first one I have was actually suggested by someone who watches the podcast. So it is the Grafton Monster. It is a monster that is it's found in West Virginia. So it is a humanoid figure with no head.
Headless horseman?
Yeah, like a headless horseman type thing. But it's bigger than a bear. It's big, stocky, and I have some encounters here. So the first time it was seen was June the 16th, 1964, by a reporter of the name of John Cockrell, as he was coming home one night from his office. So he was coming home real late, going up these windy mountain roads in West Virginia, and comes across this big being that walks out on the road and walks into the tree line on the other side. Freaked him out so bad that he turned around, went back to his office, got two more of his reporter buddies, came back out, and they started following the creature's trail. The thing is, when it first crossed the road, it started emitting this whistling noise, very high-pitched whistling noise. When they started getting to the tree line on this trail, they heard the high-pitched whistling noise. It's kind of like a warning. So they turned around and left.
They took it as a warning and left?
Yeah. Now, that was the first ever encounter. They said that the first guy said it had no head, so that's what really spiked the story. After the encounter, like I said, he went and got those two guys to help him, but they didn't see it. All they did was hear it. So, yeah, it's spotted near the Tigart River on Route 119 near Grafton, West Virginia.
Okay.
The second encounter, they said it was believed to be 7 to 9 feet tall. It had oily skin, kind of like a seal. But, as I tell you about the other encounters, I think I have a theory on that. So it had oily skin, very big, very wide.
His Diddy.
No, it was not Diddy.
It's just Diddy ducked down like this.
The second encounter.
He likes taking the Appalachian Trail.
So, another thing about these encounters is they happened within 2 decades of each other. All these three encounters did. And the story of the Grafton Monster was still in everyone's mind. So, and one thing about the Robert Cochran guy, he actually debated on if he should print a story about the monster because he thought he'd be met with skepticism. But he printed it, and a lot more people were intrigued by it than calling him a liar. So. Yeah. But the second big encounter was a father and son. They were cutting down trees, doing some logging. They had 2 dogs with them. And as they cleared out this big area out of the tree line from where they cleared, they saw it come out. But they said that it didn't see them. Because it has no head, so it didn't even sense them. They couldn't smell them. They didn't know they were there. They said they loaded their shotguns from their trucks, cocked their shotguns, went to shoot it, but it posed no threat, and it just walked away. That was the second big sighting of it. It was in broad daylight, and both the father-son's accounts match up perfectly. They could be lying, of course, but the third and final sighting, there's been sightings everywhere, but the third big sighting happened in the mid-'80s. 2 cops were dispatched to a disturbance at a campsite. Someone was night fishing. They snuck away from their camp, doing a little bit of night fishing, when they felt their boat start to just tug underwater. So when they shone their light, something with a huge hand the size of the front of the boat grabbed it and was pushing itself up on the boat like it was trying to get out of the water. Sinking the boat, and alerting everyone in the camp because the guy was screaming. They got the guy out of the water. Cops came, took an account of it, talked to everyone who saw it happen. That's where his oily skin comes in. I think where the first sighting was. So here's my theory: the first sighting was near the river. The third sighting was in the river. I think it lives in the river. If it's a real thing.
My first thought, whenever I hear things like this, is I don't think to call this person crazy or whatever. My first thought is, all right, what is he mistaking this for?
Exactly.
I can't, like, maybe it's a bear.
Maybe it is a bear. That's the only thing I can think that they would mistake it for.
Yeah, a bear. It could be like the headless chicken or whatever.
Well, a lot of people in the area believe that it was a golem, and that's from the Jewish faith. It is what they do is they make mud and clay, and it has to be made from somebody of the Jewish faith, and it's brought to life by their religious belief.
Okay.
That's what a lot of people believe. That's one of the theories that I found online.
They think it's a golem.
Golem. That seems to be the popular theory online. So whenever we decided to do this, my first two cryptids, I fully believe in them. This one I really don't believe in. I think this is just because there has been no more sightings, which would make sense if it was a bear that maybe they couldn't see their head or it was deformed or something like that. It makes sense that it's dead now because this was 50 years ago.
Yeah, within that area.
Yeah.
I probably drowned in the lake. Drowned in the lake.
But they said, though, the father and son specifically said, when they saw it, it had no fur. It was skin. It looked like oily skin.
Bears get mange. Could have been a headless, mangy bear.
That would be terrifying. They also said that it walks like a gorilla, on its knuckles. So that was...
Somebody let a gorilla loose?
Somebody let a gorilla loose, chopped its head off. I don't know if I believe this one. It's really cool to learn about. I found a lot of videos on it, a lot of people talking about it. I actually found a channel where people were hunting this thing. A bunch of old men hunting this thing. And they were full believers of this. Yeah. So you have any thoughts, concerns, theories?
It's Diddy.
Is that your best theory? All right. Yeah, that was really the only one that I really didn't have a lot of details on. But if you want to go with yours, or I can go and go with another one, it's up to you.
No, I'm still on the thing a bit. Like, I'm just trying to think on what it could be.
Right.
Like, if it's, unless these people are just crazy, I'm like trying to think on what animal it could be.
Only thing that I can really picture on it is a bear.
Yeah.
Like, I don't see it being anything else.
It's probably like a deformed bear or something.
But the only thing that gets me is the oily skin. I think they're seeing water on it. I'm telling you, if it is some kind of weird creature, I think it lives in the river.
Yeah, that would make the most sense. But
because when they've seen the oily skin and stuff, it's been called like brown, grayish, like color, kind of like mud. So that would.
Yeah, if it wasn't Gollum, wouldn't it just like melt in the river?
I mean, maybe, I don't know. I don't know how that works.
Brown grayish color sounds like a deformed, manged bear.
Yeah, it could very well be a bear. They also said that the reason they're very skeptical about the first sighting, the Robert Cochran guy, is because he'd been working really late and was driving home at like 1 or 2 in the morning. He was like very sleep deprived. So
yeah,
that's why he turned around and got 2 other people for witnesses. But
the best way to prove yourself right is to kill it.
If you like this video, we will go hunting for these monsters.
Maybe not all of them. A lot of them are expensive.
We will go hunting for the Appalachian monsters.
all the ones you got.
All the ones I got. But
all right, you go ahead with another one.
Alrighty. So this one I'm really excited to talk about. This is the Kentucky Goblins. This is also one that was recommended, but the person who recommended it didn't know a lot about it. I started doing a lot of research. The more and more I read about this, the more and more I'm getting like extremely convinced. So let me give you a little backstory. The first encounter was August my printer didn't print it out. I think it says 21st, 1955. All of these events were witnessed by 8 adults and 3 children, 11 people total. Also, the aftermath of what you're about to hear was recorded by multiple different law enforcement agencies, sheriff's department, police, state police, stuff like that, and multiple different military outlets. They came out to investigate the crime scene. Okay, so, and also, before I also get into it, 60 years later after what you're about to hear, none of the details of the story changed. If you talked to any of the people who were there that night, 60 years later, 50 years later, every single one of the details that they gave law enforcement in their statements stayed the exact same. So that's another reason I'm really convinced this is true. Even the children that were there, they recounted it perfectly. And they were young children.
That sounds a little too good to be true.
That's what I'm saying. But also after this occurred, Men in Black showed up. So, okay. So there was
They got Willie Smith in on this?
Yeah. A small group that consisted of a couple adults and one child was visiting another family on their farm for a vacation. They were, just having a good vacation. One night they ran out of water. He goes to the well to get more water. As he's getting the pail from the well, he sees something flying across the sky and hits down on the ground in front of him past the tree line where he can't see it. So hard it shook the ground. So he runs back to the house, tells everyone, hey, I saw a plane crash, something's going on. And as he's explaining this, he calls it a UFO. And so everyone immediately just starts laughing. And as he's trying to tell people, he's like, hey, listen, this was something that crashed. It didn't look like a plane, but it could be a plane. There might be people hurt when you call somebody. As he explained this, the woman who owned the house, or the woman he came with, can't remember, had started screaming. She pointed at the end of the house. At the end of the house, there was a little humanoid figure that was had glowing eyes, and it was not touching the ground. It was floating. So, as they armed themselves with shotguns. Hold on. Yeah. I lost my place. The notes I got. Oh, I'm sorry. Before they went back to the house to tell everyone this, he went and got his friend who was close to the house to investigate the crash scene. Before he came to the crash scene, he saw one of the little floating guys with, he said short legs, long arms, glowing eyes, little horns, and so he freaked out. And that's when he runs back to the house telling everybody about the crash and all that. And his friend he was with starts arming themselves, getting them shotguns, rifles. Like I said, this is Kentucky. So as they're doing this, the woman screams. So the guy takes his gun, shoots it through the screen door with a 20 gauge shotgun, I believe is what they said. There was a 22, 12 gauge, and 20 gauge. Shot the 20 gauge, but here's the kicker. When it hit through the screen door, it was a perfect slug hole right through the screen door. It made a very hard metallic noise smacking it. And it just ran away into the woods. So here's where it gets creepy. The guy goes to the porch and is trying to chase it into the woods, but as he goes through the doorway with his gun, hand reaches down out of the doorway, tries to grab him on the top of his head. Hey,
Jeepers Creepers.
Jeepers Creepers.
Jeepers Creepers, that mother.
Freaked him out. He jumped backwards, and his buddy came running out and shot up in the sky. Shot at the roof. Also hitting this creature with another metallic noise and it running into the woods. That's not all. So, they start barricading themselves in the house. But they tell all the kids, they go into your room, go to sleep, we're going to handle this. As they're in the room, they hear screaming from the kids' room. They run in there. One of them was at the window, clawing at the window. Shot through the window, hitting the creature, metallic noise, ran away. Moved the kids to another room. 2 of them are at the kid's window. Shooting at the kid, and then they start shooting out that window to get them. These things were only interested in the kids. Every room they moved the kids to, they followed the children. And at this point, they have 3 armed men. They said that over the course of the night, there were over 100 rounds shot.
Dang.
Yeah, into these creatures. They said that they counted 4 creatures at one point, and they stalked them. They said they were in the trees, they were at the bottom of the trees, they were lurking around the house. At one point, they found a break when the sun started. Not the sun didn't come up, but it started to get a light in the sky, and they kind of backed into the tree line. I guess they didn't like the sunlight. They made a break for their trucks, ran to the police station, told their story to the police officers. And what's notable in this too is that the police also told them that, or had made a note that they believed them because of how panicked and scared they were. Not that they were aliens, but they believed that they were being stalked by something. So they sent investigators to the house, where they found the house completely demolished. I mean, it was still standing, but just bullet holes, and on the outside roofs there were scrape marks and like boards being pulled up from the old wooden house. Like something was trying to get into them.
So it's like a little size of a child.
Yeah. But they said that when they saw it, it never touched the ground. It floated above the ground. Now, being in the 1950s and being in Appalachia, this family believed that these were demons.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah, they believed that they had done something wrong and that there were demons after them. They returned to the house. I don't believe it was right the next night, but like a week or so later. And it was only the woman staying in the house. She was staying alone. And she also said that she had saw them out their window, but she had no children with her. They left her alone. Which furthers the theory that they were after the children.
So they didn't take a look at the craft or spacecraft or UFO, whatever.
Okay, so that's another thing. After the police filed a report and the military came out and looked at it, the entire area was quarantined off by men in black suits. No one ever discovered the spacecraft.
Huh.
Right?
It seems like it would have been a bigger story, like Roswell or something like that.
I mean, but how big can you get the story in 1955? Especially from a rural area in Kentucky.
Roswell happened in like the 40s or something.
Yeah, but a rural area in Kentucky, nobody's going to listen to a bunch of hillbillies.
That's fair enough.
I think they saw an alien, you know what I mean?
Then again, they probably went around telling everybody it was demons.
That is true. That's probably, yeah. Here's another thing I have here. So, where they had shot the creatures on the front porch and on the ceiling, this is all true, by the way. You can go look up all the reports on this online. Where they shot the creatures, there's a mysterious liquid that was like a blood, but it wasn't. They've still never identified this liquid. And like I said, all the accounts. So the two families were interviewed separately. The men were interviewed separately, and all the children were interviewed separately. Every single story matched.
Dang.
To a T, like every one of the events. What do you think about that?
That'd be pretty crazy.
What would you do in that situation?
I would have used a lot more than 100 rounds. Then again, I mean, if all they had was 100 rounds.
Well, they shot over 100 rounds. I think that was a very... so, when I started reading about this, I immediately thought, okay, crazy hillbilly with an alien story. It was like...
Yeah. I wouldn't have put all the kids by themselves.
Well, they did at first because they didn't know exactly what they were dealing with. They didn't think it was like really anything. But then when they... it also said when they did put them somewhere, they put one of the men who had one of the shotguns in the room with them. But...
Yeah, I would have gathered everybody up in the living room.
Right.
And set everybody in the living room.
It's hard. This one really is hard for me to believe because you said it is like too perfect. Like there is like too much evidence to support it and everything. But like, I don't know. I would like to see where this, because this has also now become a site where people go and visit the house. Like they visit where it was. Well, I don't believe the house is still standing, but we'll visit the area where this happened. The family moved on. after the second night of the mom seeing, or the woman seeing the creatures, they moved and left. But it also said like their remaining days, they thought the demons were after them. One of them, I think, had to get psychiatric
help.
That's what I'm trying to say. But they had like real trauma after it. So,
Okay.
You want to talk about the Loch Ness Monster, or me talk about Mothman?
I'll go on about the Loch Ness Monster. Give you a little break.
Okay.
So I've never really thought too much about the Loch Ness Monster.
Right.
And then I watched a video about it. This guy was talking about all the sightings and everything. And then I looked it up. The first, like, everybody thinks like the first sighting was in like the 1930s or whatever. That's just the first picture ever taken. The first recorded sighting was by Saint Columba. I think that's how you pronounce his name.
Mm-hmm.
And it was apparently attacking somebody in the lake, and he scared it off back into the water with a crucifix.
Okay.
Yeah. So this was like a really big saint or whatever.
Right.
An Irish saint.
Right.
But that was the first sighting. And every account that sees this thing says it looks like a plesiosaur.
Right, the dinosaur.
Yeah. The first sighting was in 565 AD. Almost 2,000 years ago.
Right.
So, and the plesiosaur, like the skeleton, nobody knew what a plesiosaur was.
Right.
The first skeleton was discovered in 1823. So that kind of puts a little bit of weight behind it.
Right, exactly.
But it can't be that big if it's staying in the Loch Ness Lake.
Right.
Which, it does have ocean access.
The lake has ocean access?
Yeah, like a little bit. Not like it's a little canal you can get through.
Yeah, I never thought too much about the Loch Ness Monster either until you brought it up.
Yeah. So if it is real, like it cannot be more than like 20 feet. Like that max, 20 feet max.
It could be like most reptiles, like, you know how they will not outgrow their habitat. Like if you, for example, you have a pet snake and you have it in an enclosed, it will not grow bigger than that.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, so it could be like that.
Yeah. So, the first sighting, 565. Now, since then, there's been almost 1,200 sightings. And the most recent one right here was in March, a couple months ago.
Right.
From when we're filming this.
Right.
So and it's really bugging me because they've tried everything in the world. Like, they've done sonar, they've scanned the lake. They tried to use a submarine, but they said that the water's too dark for them to actually use a submarine. But they found nothing whatsoever. The only thing that they found out was like there's caves on the sides of the lake going into the mountains.
Where it can hide at.
Yeah, where it could hide at. But there's been like a bunch of sightings. One dude said that it was blocking his path on the road one day.
So it's not just a water creature.
Yeah, it can come out on land. Like there's he said it's blocking his path. He like throwing sticks and shit at it, trying to scare it away. And then
you imagine you're just driving to work and see a dinosaur in
there?
there?
No, that's why I don't want to live in Scotland.
You'd have to kill it.
Yeah, I wouldn't have a gun in Scotland.
Oh yeah.
I'd have a gun.
I have a gun. Yeah, it's like
I keep a gun. Yeah. Freedom.
Well, I will say this about the Loch Ness Monster. This is one that I can really, really get behind because, for one, any kind of body of water scares the hell out of me.
Especially if you can't see under you.
No, yeah, but like the lake, there's lakes around us. We go lake all the time. I'm scared to death to get past like my neck. I don't know.
If I can't see too far under me, I don't like it.
I don't know what's out there. I've been to the beach more times than I can count. I won't go past the beach,
If I get to a point where I can't see my feet walking in water, I'm getting out.
You don't know what's in
I'm
there.
not getting out, but
Yeah, I know what you mean. You don't know what's in there.
Yeah, if I can't see directly below me, I'm getting out.
And
These guys was taking submarines and was like, I can't see the front.
Yeah, no, screw that. Like, what is it? We've only explored like what 20%, 15%, something like that of the ocean.
Yeah, something like that.
You know how terrifying that is. We know a pretty good lot about it. Like, and we've only discovered 20% of it. So, no.
But yeah, the plesiosaur, the actual dinosaur that was discovered in 1823. So another reason I think it's possible is because their skeletons have been found all over the place, like in the Sahara Desert where there used to be water. Places like there used to be a bunch of water. They've been found all over the world like that.
Do you know if any of them have been found in the area of the Loch Ness Monster?
Yeah, they've been found all along the coast of England and all that, along the coast of Europe. So what I'm thinking is water receded and they just got sucked up into that lake. Well, not sucked up into the lake.
You know, like stuck in the lake.
Yeah.
Yeah, that could make that makes sense. But if he can go on land too, then he wouldn't really be stuck. Would he?
Yeah. I would imagine that if they can get into the ocean, it might just be like a breeding ground or something.
It might just be home.
Could be.
Like it may just be a territory thing. Like you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think
something that does take weight away from this. I'm pretty sure there's a River Monsters episode about this, and he did not catch it. So Jeremy Wade didn't catch it. So
that's reality TV, which is reality TV.
Hey, don't you talk shit about Jeremy Wade.
I don't know the River Monsters guy.
Yeah,
I only watched like 2 episodes of River Monsters. It's staged. Every bit of it's staged.
Don't you talk bad about him.
Sorry.
All right.
It's bad TV.
So there is reports of this thing, like taking livestock and attacking people. Like there's reports, like they're probably not all real.
Right. Well, yeah, any kind of mythical.
I doubt 100% of the 1,200 sightings is real.
Oh yeah, any kind of creature like these, you'll have some who are just a hoax.
Yeah.
Somebody looking for attention.
But nearly 1,200 since 565.
Right.
And the story about the Loch Ness Monster didn't really blow up until like the 30s. Like the first picture that was taken right here was, everybody says it looks like a blurry dog.
Right.
Which it kind of does.
It does.
But it is a 1930s camera. What do you?
Yeah, well, you can't get an HD like picture
Yeah.
then. Yeah, you know what I mean.
And then the one that really blew up, everybody now just thinks it's a whale dick.
Which is also a possibility.
Yeah, it is a possibility. Could be. And
I think it's real.
I think it could be, but I don't think it's really that big.
I think if they had some competent hunters.
I think it's just a bunch of kooks going out and hunting it.
Yeah, don't know what they're doing. If they had some real competent like fishermen and hunters, they could get.
I've looked it up. I don't know why they've never tried chumming the water. Like
they've
baiting
never
it in.
chummed the water.
They've never as far as I know, I've looked it up. I tried seeing if they ever have, but they've never tried to chum the water. I don't know if that's that requires a special skill, but I would assume if you throw meat,
It might be illegal in that area. Some places it's illegal to chum the water.
That's true. I mean, I'm sure you could get a special permit. You're trying to find a monster here.
I'm sure if you're a TV guy, you can get a big camera out there.
Yeah. Yeah, just chum the water. I don't know why nobody's ever tried that.
It'd make too much sense.
Yeah. I'm not saying just throw it all around the lake. Just go to one specific spot. Maybe a couple specific spots, just to cover ground. But why have you not chummed the lake? That's ridiculous.
I agree.
And yeah.
So, in your mind, do you believe the Loch Ness Monster is real?
I think it's a possibility.
Okay.
I'm not. I would definitely, if I had the funds, I'd definitely go and hunt it right now.
Yeah. Same.
But I'm not gonna waste actual money that I need to do.
You wouldn't be surprised if they found it.
No, I wouldn't be.
Okay.
Not at all. I'd be pretty psyched about it,
Right.
but I wouldn't be surprised. But yeah, the last sighting was in like March of 2025, and it's still not even a good photo.
Right.
And it's like just something up under a wave, like it's pushing up water.
Hasn't broke through the water yet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But if it's like, could you imagine if it's actually like a plesiosaur?
Like a real dinosaur?
Yeah, like an actual dinosaur.
That would... I don't know what that would do. That'd be like the discovery of a lifetime to find a real dinosaur.
Oh yeah. I mean, technically, it wouldn't be a dinosaur. It's now just called a Nessie.
It's a Nessie.
Yeah. But yeah, these things was like sharks. They just went all around not like all sharks, but great whites. They just went all around the world. I think they got up I think the biggest one they found was like 30 feet.
Jesus. It's a big boy.
Yeah. It looks like a friggin' Bronchiosaurus and what's that one called?
Spinosaurus?
No, not a Spinosaurus. The other underwater dinosaur.
I don't know.
Mosasaurus.
Mosasaurus. Yep.
Yeah, Mosasaurus. It's like
Oh,
a
it does.
Bronchiosaurus and a Mosasaurus put together.
It does.
But yeah, they've scanned the lakes. I'm surprised nobody's went underwater cave diving. But then again, if you can't see the water,
Yeah, if you can't see in front of it, yeah, there ain't no point.
yeah,
I don't know how black the water is, but
Yeah, if you can't see in front of you, I'm not getting in that cave.
right. I ain't getting no cave. I don't care if it's underwater or not. I don't do caves.
Yeah, I can see why you don't do caves.
Shut up.
We need to find a cave diver that would do that. I don't know.
We done with the Loch Ness Monster? Yeah, more about it.
Yeah, that's about it.
Okay.
Well, no, the really famous one got debunked a while ago.
Oh, did it?
Yeah, so the famous 1933 one,
Yeah.
like the one that looks like a little head sticking out like that.
I've seen that one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That one
Is it,
was debunked.
is it debunked?
Yeah.
Fair enough.
But after this recent sighting, the Loch Ness community or whatever was like, yeah, we're still holding out hope we can find this.
Imagine.
Yeah, chum the water.
Just chum the water.
Yeah, I'm gonna get a T-shirt that's
Just
says
says chum the water.
Yeah, chum the water.
Nobody will know what you're talking about.
Yeah, no,
Please wear
I
that.
will. Chum the water.
So our next one brings us to Point Pleasant, West Virginia, which is probably, arguably, just like the Loch Ness Monster, one of the most famous, if not the most famous cryptid, the most famous creature that you can learn about.
I don't know if you'd call the Loch Ness Monster a cryptid. It's more like a mythical creature to me.
You know what I mean. So, give you a little context. I don't know if you've ever learned about the first sightings of the Mothman.
Not too much. I know that it broke a bridge down.
Okay, so let me tell you some details. The first ever sighting was November 12th, 1966. There were 5 grave diggers. They thought that they were going to the cemetery to dig a grave for a funeral the next morning. As they were on their way, they saw what looked to be a human in the tree. And when they looked at it, it opened its eyes, glowing red eyes, flew away. Freaked them out. Now, first sighting. Second sighting was 2 days later, November 14, 1966, when a resident saw two red eyes out of his window. He was walking along his house, looked at the window, saw 2 red eyes. It was a human-like creature, but then it was like he saw the wings come out of its back, and it was like standing in a tree, and it took off. And as it took off, his German Shepherd dog took off after it. Never saw the dog again. Here's where it gets creepy. Encounter number 3. 1 day later, November 15th, 1966. 2 couples were on a double date. They came to the police station to state they saw a grave figure. It was about 7 feet tall on the side of the road. They saw the wings bent behind its back. But in front of it, they saw a dead dog carcass. It looked like it had been eating the dog. The breed of dog found was a German Shepherd.
So Mothman eats doggies.
So the Mothman eats dogs. Here's the kicker. When they passed it, it took off after the car, flying after it. The driver said he had the car pushing 100 miles an hour. And this thing just right behind him at 100 miles an hour. It only stopped once they got into city limits. Got into city limits, it took off the other way. Now,
so that does bring into question: is the Mothman good or evil?
That's what I'm. Yeah. Last encounter, and we'll discuss that. Fourth encounter, 1966, 1966, but it's a day after that, November 16th. They held a news conference. Hold on. Oh, this was before the news conference. Sorry. A couple and a friend was going to visit another friend. The couple and their friend in the back had a baby with them. They got to the other friend's house, and in the driveway was the Mothman, just standing there. The woman was so scared she dropped her baby.
Why are you dropping a baby?
Right, and then that's what the thing said. Dropped her baby. She picks the baby back up. Hold on.
Yeah, it's at her window. Just
they ran back in the house of the friend that they went to visit, and this thing was crawling all over the house, crawling over windows, crawling over the roof, and they said that they saw it plain as day, a humanoid figure, gray, with wings, crawling over the windows of the house. And they said it tormented this house for hours until they could get to the police station, until they eventually broke free of the house, got their trucks, went to the police station. Now, after this, once they got to the police station, the friend with the child, the friend whose house they went and visit, she lived by herself, and she said that she was stalked for days. This thing come back to her house, crawling over her windows, scratching at her windows, scratching at the roof. Stalked for days. Just tormented by this thing. All these encounters were within 4 or 5 days of each other. Well, 4 days of each other. A press conference was held after all these encounters to debunk all these sightings. Now, the thing is, none of the people who reported these encounters previously spoke to one another. They had no idea about the previous encounters. They were all completely done, nothing was published, nothing was public, nothing was in the newspaper. It was just reported to the police. And all within 4 days, different groups of people had saw the Mothman. Now, these sightings continued for 2 years until the latter of 67. The end of 1967, the Silver River Bridge collapsed, killing 46 people. And after this, the sightings just completely stopped. So, a lot of people believe that the Mothman brings death. A lot of people believe it comes as an omen to warn of death. So, what do you think about?
I don't know. Is eating that dog? It probably brings up.
Okay, so when we first started this journey of looking at the cryptids, I thought it was like an omen. You know what I mean? Like maybe because I fully believe the Mothman is real. Like I believe that it warned people of death, but now I'm starting to think it is death. Like it's a demon type thing.
Yeah. Why would you think it's a good thing? A freaking thing flying around.
Maybe he's trying to tell us that the bridges are going to fall down. I don't know.
They probably tore the bridge down.
They probably did tear the bridge. I'm on that side now.
Well, maybe its house was under the bridge and it had nothing to do with it. The bridge just collapsed on
its nest.
Yeah, that's why it's never been seen again. Mothman was crushed to death by a bridge. He was just trying to get a cup of coffee and watch TV, and his bridge just
under all them cars at the bottom of the lake was the Mothman's body.
And all his stuff. All his stuff was just in Point Pleasant River.
That's so messed up.
He's actually just a demon. They got crushed to death by a bridge.
That's messed up. The press conference that was held on the 16th was to say, the way they debunked this was that how it was behind the car, it was a crane that had been blown out of its migration route and just started randomly chasing a car or going in the same direction as the car. the people in the car refuted that by saying, "What bird do you know that can fly up to 100 miles an hour?"
Yeah.
That was their evidence against that, or to them for trying to debunk that, and their answer was they just never answered.
No.
They just, yeah. Their answer was silence.
Yep.
And again, one person suffered from a very, very traumatic break, like psyche break. I believe it was the person who it stalked at their house. They had to have some kind of treatment after that. So,
yeah,
that's the story of the Mothman. I love the story of the Mothman, maybe because it hits so close to home. Like, it's one that we, that's one we hear about so much.
Yeah, but yeah, I don't think he's a good guy.
I mean, I'm starting to lean to the fact that I don't think he's a good guy anymore either.
I mean, yeah, you can't just eat a dog.
Just a dog and be a good guy.
Why do you think we don't like China right now?
Oh gosh, don't say that.
Why do you think we're in a trade war with China? You think it's because they're overpricing us? No.
That's staying in. Dylan's a racist.
At least I don't eat dogs.
Well, that wraps up the cryptids. Unless you have anything you want to say about the Mothman.
Could you imagine just crawling around your house? Like, it just does it for years.
Yeah, you just go to the kitchen. You have a friend over and it just crawls over the kitchen window. And they're like, "What is that?" It's a Mothman. Don't worry about it.
Put a pepperoni roll on the windowsill.
You gotta remember.
You just open the window and frisbee one out into the yard.
That's why the Mothman chose West Virginia. We leave him pepperoni rolls to leave us alone.
He won't go away. Did you throw Mountain Dew out there?
Pepperoni roll, Mountain Dew. Here you go. What about them Marlboros?
You throw him a Mountain Dew. You expect him to go away, and you not give him nothing to wash it down with.
I can definitely hear one of these old men around here saying something like that.
Poor thing.
Poor thing. Give him a Mountain Dew now.
That's why he's eating a dog.
That's why
he didn't have no pepperoni roll.
That's why he ate your dog.
Yeah. I guarantee you don't give me no pepperoni roll. You had nothing to eat for a while. I'll eat the dog.
Yeah, that's something someone would say from around here.
Yeah, I'll eat a dog too. If I get hungry enough.
I'll get me no pepperoni roll.
Everybody's going to be mad at us talking shit about the Mothman.
Yeah,
like,
making fun.
What do you mean? I eat a dog. I eat one right now, just to prove a point.
People are getting mad though.
I've had that dog for 13 years. Talk about the Mothman one more time. It's gone.
They're going to get mad that we're talking about people from around here. Little they know we live next to people like that. So that's our neighbor we're talking about. All right, calm down. Now, what we're going to do for the next 4 cryptids, the ones that we just talked about, tell me which ones you think are real and which ones aren't. We'll start with the Grafton Monster. Think it's real or not?
No.
Me neither.
I think it's a misunderstanding.
I do too. I think it's... and there's not enough evidence to back it. Kentucky Goblins.
I don't know.
Could be. I wouldn't be surprised if it was.
If we're leaning towards aliens, yeah, but then again, it could have just been something else.
A lot of people speculate that it was a type of owl or something.
Could have been.
That was the debunking of it, but...
If it was based in modern times, I would have just assumed they was all on drugs.
Right. Loch Ness Monster, you said that you think it could be.
Could be. I wouldn't be surprised if they found it. But, I don't know.
Mothman.
Yeah, I think he is real. I don't think he's around anymore, but I think he is real.
I think he's real, but like you said, I think he's gone.
I think I'm starting to think he is actually crushed under the bridge now. Like he was actually under the bridge just taking a nap.
No, he was the one that was dismantling the bridge, and he's dismantling it the wrong way, and it just fell on him.
Yeah.
Oh crap!
He didn't get his architecture degree.
He gets Mountain Dew that morning.
Yeah.
But
fucking show you.
Okay, so we're going to get into movie news next. But before we get into that, if you like us talking about cryptids and you want to see us talking about anything else, let us know. There's a lot more cryptids we can talk about, like the Wendigo. There's like tens of hundreds of from Appalachia, like the more lesser known ones that I would love to talk about. We can talk about skinwalkers, stuff like that. If you want us to do any creepy pastas, these cryptids got me into looking at creepy pastas the other night. Those would be cool to look into.
What's creepy pasta?
It's like internet stories, like the scary stories, like Jeff the Killer, stuff like that. I'd love to review some of those and get your thoughts on them. But yeah, we just tried something new. Let us know what you think about it.
All right.
Back into our old formula. Movie news. All right. So, Bryan Cranston is being looked at for Professor X. I think we may have talked about this.
Not on the show.
Not on the show. Okay. What do you think about that?
I think he can do it.
I think it's a perfect cast.
Yeah, that's a great cast.
If you can't give me, what's the original guy's name?
Patrick Stewart.
Yeah, if you can't give me Patrick Stewart, which I'm sure he's going to be killed off in Secret Wars or he's going to be left in another universe, give me Bryan Cranston.
Yeah.
That is a good...
For that age, yeah.
Oh, 100%.
But if you're going to go with a younger one, I'd say just stick with McAvoy.
Oh, yeah.
I like McAvoy.
McAvoy is one of the most underrated actors ever.
I don't think he's underrated anymore.
No, but he was. I
remember the first thing I ever saw him in was Wanted. I loved that movie.
Oh, yes. I was a kid going around quoting that movie when I shouldn't have been.
Yeah.
That was I had the video game, dude.
It's weird thinking back that Chris Pratt was in that.
Right? And I watched it very recently.
Yeah, he's like
the office guy.
Yeah, screwing his girlfriend.
That was really funny. I love Chris Pratt too, though. We got a trailer for Guillermo del Toro's Frankenstein. I feel like this is going to be just along the lines of a vibe as like Nosferatu. It's going to be very. They have to do it right. It's a classic. Frankenstein is a classic story. I love how in the trailer they don't really show Frankenstein. Like if they do this from very far away, it's with him with a hood over his head. It's like a distorted look at him. We don't get to see the full monster until the movie. I like that. You got Oscar Isaac playing Victor Frankenstein. He is great. Guillermo del Toro is one of the best horror weird creature directors ever. So I'm really pumped to see this movie. Any thoughts on that?
Yeah. Yeah, I think that was like the first actual book I read was Frankenstein.
Really?
Yeah. It was in the second grade.
I
really needed AR points.
Very. We also got a new trailer for Dexter Resurrection. Full trailer. He is on the run.
Yeah, he goes to New York, don't he?
Yeah. He is on the run from Batista. He wakes up in the hospital and Batista's like, so you're the Bay Harbor Butcher.
Yeah.
Wild. I love it. I'm so for it. We're going to have to review that episode by episode. I
don't know. I feel like I don't see how they're going to get around. Like, I feel like that'd be a national news story.
Right. The Dexter's still... Well, Peter Dinklage is supposed to play this, like, billionaire who's obsessed with millionaires. And he's kind of giving Dexter, like, a place to stay with other serial killers. So...
And Dexter's like, I'm going to kill him.
Yeah, Dexter's like, oh, just as my top. Like, other killers. Well, this is pretty cool. Saw some behind-the-scenes stuff of 28 years later. It used a 20 iPhone rig to get wide shots.
Oh, what?
Like a rig of 20 different iPhones to get wide shots for the movie 28 years later.
Oh.
It's pretty cool, huh? They're really sticking to the whole shot completely on iPhone.
Why, though?
I think just to prove they can do it. Another thing about the 28 years later, they said that the rest of the trilogy, because they want to make this a trilogy, solely relies on how good this one does. So, the fact that the first two are classics has no bearing on it. It depends on how good this does. And they said that if it does good, the other two, Cillian Murphy has already agreed to return.
Okay.
So,
if you guys like these movies, you better go watch them.
Oh, I'm going to watch it like 5 times in theaters.
No, I'm talking to them.
We also got news about Terrifier 4. Damien Leotti, the writer, said that Terrifier 4 will reveal Art's complete backstory in the first 15 minutes.
I don't know. He said he's going to do like 10 movies. Why not just spread it out a little bit more?
I don't know. But I'm all for it because I know there's a lot of speculation and theories on his backstory. So
Okay.
we got a Happy Gilmore 2 trailer. What do you think about that trailer?
It looked good. It looked like it'll be really funny.
I'm not that excited for it.
I don't think it'll be as funny as the first one.
No, and I think if you can't make it as funny as the first one, you shouldn't even make it.
But this is the trailer.
And Eminem's in it.
Yeah.
I thought that was pretty funny.
Yeah, Eminem's in it. And then they brought back everybody.
Yeah.
Other than what's-his-face because he's dead.
Who?
Chubbs.
Oh, yeah. They brought his grandson or his son or something like that into it. That's pretty cool.
But yeah, they got his girlfriend from the movie and everything in it. They're bringing back almost everybody for it. So, which I haven't seen her. That's the only thing I've ever seen her in.
Was Happy Gilmore?
Yeah.
Yeah, same. I've never seen her in anything else either.
Unless I'm just not thinking.
I can't think of nothing on top of my head.
Yeah.
I'm gonna watch it. Obviously, we'll review it. But
And something I'm really excited for is the King of the Hill series.
oh, dude,
It's coming out in August. Terrible thing is, John Redcorn recently died.
He was shot outside of his home. A man attacked him with a pistol and killed him. Very, very, very tragic. It was a death that did not need to occur. So, I'm very upset about that as well.
Yeah, it was pretty pointless. It was just
an
meaningless death.
An act of violence and hate is all it was towards him, and yeah, it's just something that didn't need to happen. He killed a really, really talented man.
I'm gonna say allegedly they didn't do anything
Right.
to deserve it.
Right.
But I don't know the full story.
Well, as of right now, it's looking like he didn't do anything.
Yeah, the guy just walked up and shot him.
Yes,
which is stupid.
Yeah,
But
senseless.
Jonathan Joss.
Senseless violence towards another human being that ended the life of a really good actor. So.
Yeah.
But
So from what I'm getting is that the Hill family moved away for a while.
yeah,
I don't know if they sold their house and bought it back or they just rented it out while they was gone. But the series is going to pick up with them moving back into their home after have been moved away for so long. I heard somewhere that they went to Saudi Arabia for a little bit or something like that.
Yeah.
But
I'm gonna rewatch this whole series for them.
And now they're back and trying to pick up their lives. So I'm guessing that that they're not gonna bring Lucky and Luann back because I didn't see them because their voice actors are dead.
Right.
And then the guy who did Cotton's voice, he's just going to start doing Dale's voice now too. I don't know what they're going to do for John Redcorn.
Right. I saw on the credits though on IMDb, he's not even credited on any of the episodes.
Jonathan Joss.
Yeah. So
he might not be because.
So it looks like he never recorded anything for the new show.
He might not be because at the. By the end of the series, him and Nancy had stopped fooling around. So he could have just went on with his life.
Right. And I'm really excited to see how they tackle this. I am going to watch the series over again.
Yeah.
It's been years.
Mike Judge, the creator of the show, he also voices Hank. When they announced it, he says, "In August, I'm coming back, and I'm pissed off."
I like that. That's funny.
Yeah.
King of the Hill is a classic.
I cannot wait for this.
I know you've been excited for
and
months.
Bobby's an adult. They're all adults now.
It's gonna be awesome.
He's supposed to be like a fancy chef or something like that.
I heard about that.
Yeah.
Do you know how often I quote this show? That's my purse. I don't know you.
That's my purse. I don't know you.
I quote that like 100 times a day. A few more pieces of news. Tell me what you think about this. Stranger Things. We're finally getting the last season after.
I thought the last season was supposed to be the last season.
Yeah, well, after about 4 years.
Money.
Yeah. After 4 years of them announcing, we're postponing it, they finally gave us a release date. but they split the last season into 3 volumes.
Money.
Volume 1 comes out the day before Thanksgiving. Volume 2, Christmas Day. Volume 3, New Year's Day. I love Stranger Things. Don't get me wrong, I'm a huge fan.
You want to talk about it on the show?
Yeah, we'll talk about it on the show. That gives you time to watch them.
Yeah.
I'm a huge fan of Stranger Things. I think they fumbled the last season. I think it's dog crap. But why do this? Nobody, as much as I love Stranger Things, I'm not taking my time away from Thanksgiving with my family or Christmas away from my family and just sitting down and turning on Stranger Things. Their views are going to be super low on the holidays.
I don't think so.
I think, Stranger Things is not one of those shows
There's not everybody has Thanksgiving on Thanksgiving. Most people have Thanksgiving on the weekend.
I mean, yeah, but you're sitting around with your
Christmas,
family.
I don't know. People will, if people really want to watch something, they will watch it no matter the holiday. Moana 2, day after Thanksgiving, couldn't get a seat.
It was Thanksgiving Day.
Yeah, could not get a seat.
You got a point, but I don't see that being a good strategy at all.
If you can watch it at home, they're probably not even going to binge watch the whole series.
Yeah, but I don't know. They're trying to hype it up because we waited 4 years for it. Here's the thing that also bothers me about it. When we first started the series, they were middle schoolers. Millie Bobby Brown, the main character, is now married, I believe, or engaged. You're going to have me just pick up and believe she's a middle schooler or high schooler again?
I mean, she can pass for it. Tom Holland can. He's older than we are.
Yeah. I don't like it.
But I think you're making a bigger deal about the holidays than it needs to be.
Fair enough. You need to watch these because David Arbor is perfect in these movies.
Okay. I got so mad because I was watching a video and somebody was trying to tell me the backstory about the Red Guardian, and then he just started explaining Stranger Things. It took me a second to catch on, and I was like, "Oh, you son of a..."
One movie that I'm really excited for, we got a trailer for the Black Phone 2. You watched Black Phone 1?
I know what it is. I never watched
One of the most underrated movies of that year. I loved it. It was fantastic. It is actually a short story written by Stephen King and his son. They co-wrote it. Here's the thing. It only has one book, I believe. Don't quote me on that, but I believe it only has one book. But I lost my train of thought. I didn't know how they was going to take the series into a sequel because it wrapped up perfectly with the first one. The Snatcher, or whatever they call him, the guy who snatches kids and keeps them kidnapped in his basement, is full Freddy Krueger mode. He died at the end of the first one. He is full supernatural now. And I'm for it. It looks very, very entertaining, but on the other side, it's either going to be a hit or miss. It's a very big risk. You're going to ruin the first one if you're not careful. The biggest piece of news that I've wanted to talk about, and it's driving me crazy because I have such mixed feelings about it. Half the rights of Saw was sold to Blumhouse. Okay. Let me explain to you what's going on. So, Saw is it's a 50-50 partnership, Twisted Pictures and Lionsgate. Twisted Pictures sold their half to Blumhouse. Now, I'm a firm believer Blumhouse has ruined just about every horror movie they've got their hands on. Halloween, the Until Dawn movie was not very well received. I haven't watched it yet, but I really wanted to. Everything that I've watched their new stuff, like Imaginary, stuff like that, Night Swim, all crap. Then you give them half the rights to my favorite horror movie franchise ever. But here is the positives about it. One of the big head honchos over at Blumhouse, I don't know if he is the head honcho, but he's one of the big guys, is James Wan. James Wan wrote the first Saw movie, directed the first Saw movie, done everything the first Saw. It was his baby. First Saw movie is probably, I don't know if he done any of the sequels, so I can't remember, is probably, arguably, the best one. The fact that it's back in his hands gives me some kind of relief, because there was multiple different rumors it was going to go to Blumhouse, A24, stuff like that. But here's the thing. I don't care if they gave it to James Wan. I don't care if they gave it to any of the original, writers or whatever. If they do a reboot, I'm going to freak out. If they do a reboot, I am going to
So you want the story to continue rather than restart?
They left it on a cliffhanger.
Oh, okay.
I want a conclusion. They left it on the cliffhanger. They were hoping to milk it for 2 more movies. And they set it up for a big showdown between John and this girl he had in a trap. She got free. If they do a reboot, I'm going to swear off the reboot. I swear I will. I won't watch it.
Okay.
I'm so mad that they sold the rights to Blumhouse. I hate Blumhouse just about, and I don't want to say hate, but there's some bangers, but majority of their stuff's trash.
Okay.
Sorry, I had to vent. I had to get that out.
So,
what do you think about that?
I really don't.
You don't care about Saw.
I watched the first 2. I vaguely remember
Like and subscribe.
4, 5, and 6. I saw something, but moving past this, unless you have something else to say.
No, go ahead.
But moving past this, I saw something saying that for Superman, the new Superman movie, for it to be considered a success, it needs to hit $700 million.
I think they'll do it.
Yeah. Worldwide.
I think they'll do it opening weekend.
Yeah, I think they will too.
I think they'll be near $1 billion opening weekend.
I think that is just one of the superheroes that, whether the movie's terrible or not, it's going to get its money back.
Oh, yeah, because people are interested to see how the direction's going to go.
Yeah, the people's going to want to go see Superman.
Yeah. Even me, who's not a huge fan of what I've seen so far, I'm hyped for it.
Yeah. Yeah, all the robots and stuff, those are like actual robots.
I know, they make like real animatronics for it.
They got James Gunn is just basically hiring Alan Tudyk for everything, because he's voicing all the robots. He's voicing the robots. He's
he knows good talent. You know what I mean?
yeah, he's Clayface in Creature Commandos.
Yep.
He's also the robot
Which robot?
from Creature Commandos.
Oh yeah.
G.I. Bot.
Yep.
He's him.
One thing about voice actors, they can play multiple roles.
Yep. But he's also, James Gunn also said that live action will be the same as the voice actors. Like if you voiced a character, you're going to play that character
Right.
in live action.
Yeah.
Okay. But yeah, he's just basically hiring Alan Tudyk for just about everything.
He's going to play multiple roles live action.
Yeah.
That's going to be hilarious.
Yeah. Let's just hope that we get a scene with the Superman robot, G.I. Bot, and Clayface all together.
That would be so funny. That I would love that.
Yeah.
Anything else though?
No, I'm good on that.
All right. Next week we'll try to watch the new John Wick. Don't know yet, and we'll pick some movies off screen. We really need to think about it.
Yeah.
We might do some more cryptids. We don't know yet. We'll just tune in next week and find out.
Yeah.
Let us know if you like the cryptids. Like, subscribe, comment.
Find out on the next episode of DB Media.
Oh, sorry, wrong.